Well, welcome everyone to Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game. I'm your host, Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money color commentator. On today's show, Insuring Family Members for Generations, part 4 in our series on the economic impact of life insurance with best-selling author, popular platform speaker, and nationally recognized retirement expert, Tom Hegna. Welcome to segment 4, Tom.
Hey, thanks. Great to be here, Steve.
Well, I love this next subject. You know, let's talk about the working spouse. Listen, when I first came into the workforce, most of my baby boomer female colleagues not working.
Yeah.
It's going to stay at home mom, most of them. This has completely changed. So I want you to address two parts. I want you to address the earlier stage of non-working spouses, but I also want you to bring in, what about dual income? Working spouses.
So let's do the non-working spouse first. You know, a lot of people say, well, if a woman's a stay-at-home mom, that they don't need to put life insurance on her because she's not bringing in income. And I think that is a huge mistake. And I'll just use me as an example. I am the primary breadwinner in my house, and my wife has stayed at home and raised the kids. She does some other things too. She teaches fitness and things. But you want to know what? I couldn't do what I do if she didn't do what she did. Mm-hmm. And so it's not about income. It's about what value do they bring to the household. And most of the spouses that don't have jobs have tremendous value. They're doing all the other stuff that allows their working spouse to do what they do and focus on what they do. And so I'm a big believer in putting policies. I have a very large policy on my wife because I couldn't do it without her.
I just looked at one of my friends who lost his wife, and she was 32 years old. He's 34. He has 3 children. He has a job. Who's going to take care of those kids?
Right.
Who's going to run the house? So he has no idea. He's completely at the mercy now of being a single parent. It's devastating. So when we put on a number, just think about the price tag of child care alone.
Right.
That would probably do.
You're dealing with grief too, and you're it's like somebody just punched you in the gut, and you don't even know what happened, and now you're supposed to go make the money, but you got to take care of the kids, and you got to go shopping, and you got to do all the things that you were depending on that other spouse to do. And so that's why you need to have a large policy on that non-working spouse so that you have the time. See, life insurance gives you time. It gives you time to grieve. It gives you time to get things set up. You can hire some people to help out.
Tommy, you need that time to grieve too.
Yes.
I mean, think about it, right? You've seen this. You went through.
Yep.
If you haven't I've delivered death claims.
Yep.
You'll never understand the power of what we're talking about until you see the first death claim in your life or in your family. Okay, non-working spouse. So I have nothing but, and even single raising kids, I have nothing but compassion, and I salute your work ethic. It takes a lot to get it done. But life insurance could have taken care of a lot of this. How about working spouses, though?
Yeah.
Now we have 2 people working.
Well, not only working spouses, but working single moms. I mean, they need a lot of life insurance too. So as we've said in other segments, you know, women, 50% of women own 0 life insurance. At now the same time that 50% of women are the breadwinners of their home. I always say, I hope it's not the same 50%.
Wow.
So women are very much underinsured. And we already talked in other segments how underinsured men are, and just people in general are underinsured. And so we've just got to get the level of life insurance up to, you know, what I say is the minimum, $1 million of life insurance for every $50,000 of income.
Okay, but now we're talking both breadwinners.
Right.
Okay, so we're talking both. So we're going to take that number. I can't think of anybody's mortgage that's not predicated on 2 incomes anymore.
Right.
I can't think of anybody's debt load, whether it's their cars, whether credit cards, what their future college obligations are going to be. I can't think of anybody that's calculating that based on nothing less than 2 incomes.
Yeah.
So how important going forward, because I don't think this is going to change in our society.
Right.
I think this is here to stay.
Both spouses need to have adequate life insurance. You got to say, if this one died, and you know, when I was an advisor, I would take them to a place. Nobody takes them there, but I would say, bam, you just got hit by a drunk driver. Bam, you just got hit by a texting driver from millennials. What would happen? And I'd say to the husband, okay, now you're going to be dead for the next 5 minutes. Then I'd talk to the spouse. Okay, what's going to happen to you? His check stops. How are you going to pay the house? How are you going to pay the rent? How are you going to pay the mortgage? How are you going to pay the insurance? How are you going to pay the dance shoes, the basketball dues, all of this stuff? Right. How's that going to work? And then I'd go to the other one. Okay, now something happened to her. What are you going to do? Who's going to do all that? And so that really makes you think of what are you going to do if something happens to one of the spouses.
Okay, well, we talked about non-working and working spouses. I noticed that you're a big proponent of life insurance on children, grandchildren, maybe even great-grandchildren. Talk about that.
Absolutely. Look, so many people say, oh, it's a terrible thing to have life insurance on your children, that you would benefit from their death. That is not why you buy life insurance on the children. Okay, you're not buying it to benefit on the death. I'll tell you why I bought it on all my kids. As soon as they're born, I buy a large policy, not a small policy, a large one. You know why? Number one, it's cheap. Number two, I'm protecting their insurability. Now everybody says, oh, kids never get sick. Well, let me tell you the truth. My youngest son, JJ, when he was 8 years old, he went in for 7 hours of brain surgery. They took a tumor the size of a tennis ball out of his brain. Now, an 8-year-old is not supposed to go through brain surgery when they're 8 years old, but he did. Well, guess what? He's uninsurable, or he was for a while, and now he's 17. He's going to be 18 here shortly. No reoccurrences, so I think he might be insurable again. But think about that. What if that would have been a lifelong debilitating thing that he could have never bought life insurance again, and he wanted to get married and have kids, and he couldn't have any life insurance? I protected his insurability. That was number one. Number two, it's a great place to put college savings money. You see, you don't have to be 59 and a half to take money out of a life insurance policy. You can do that at any time, and you can take it out tax-free in many cases, you know. And so it is a great place for saving college education money. You're protecting their insurability, and you know what happens if a child dies? Have you ever talked to somebody who their child dies? They're out of commission, sometimes for a year, 2 years, 3 years. They're just not the same. Well, what's that? You need something that can give you the time again. And life insurance can give you the time to grieve. It's not about benefiting from the death of a child or a grandchild. And for now, grandchildren, grandparents can do a great thing. It's a great Christmas present. Instead of buying more toys or more junk that's going to wind up, you know, at the gift store, you buy them a life insurance policy. Put money in there every birthday, every Christmas, and you can build up the cash value in these things.
Well, the gift of economic stability is a huge gift.
Yes.
And I think people are going to start equating it. I mean, my kids are all gone. I've transferred the ownership I no longer have it. It's their policy. It has cash in it. I hope they don't rate it, right? You know, but we've already done that, and that's what we're doing. And think about this. I like the idea of blessing my next generation, skipping my own children, going to my children, maybe even great-grandchildren, maybe even great-great-grandchildren. You never know.
Yeah, absolutely. And because the cost of insurance is so low on those things that you can take out a big policy, it doesn't take a lot of money, and you can stash some cash in there. See, life insurance is money. You know, when we talk about what it's like, it's money. You get dollars for pennies. I gave my example that we bought $1 million second eye policy for $150,000. So for 15 cents on the dollar, we were able to transfer $1 million tax-free to our kids. It's time. Will you have the time to become wealthy? Will you have the time to grieve? Will you have the time that you need to do all the things that you wanted to if you die early? And so it's time. No other product in the world can do what life insurance does. I always say this. There is no other product in the world that can replace a life insurance policy. There's no stock or bond or real estate investment trust that on the day you die will spring up to be worth $5 million. Only life insurance can do that. Would you like to go to the bank, or would you like to be the bank? See, if you've got a lot of cash into a life insurance policy, you don't ever have to go to the bank again. You can take a loan against that. You can make a withdrawal and take money out. Think about this. Walt Disney never would have been in existence if Walt Disney had not taken a loan from his life insurance policy to start the Disneyland and Disney World. We wouldn't have Disney without life insurance. J.C. Penney. There'd be no J.C. Penney if J.C. Penney hadn't taken a loan out of his life insurance policy to start the J.C. Penney stores. There are story after story after story of people who have used their life insurance cash values to start business, to save business. Think of the farmers that go through, and think of the oil people that go through boom and bust and boom and bust and boom and bust. Saved many of those people in the bust times. In the boom times, they put money in their life insurance policy. In the bust times, they take it out. In the boom times, they put it back in. And they don't have to go to the bank and beg. They got the money. And then, you know, people say, well, I can't afford it. I always tell people, the premium is not the problem. The premium is the solution. If you can't afford this $100 a month or $200 a month or $1,000 a month or whatever the premium is on the life insurance, how would your family do all this stuff without the life insurance? If you can't afford the premium, how are they going to afford the mortgage payment, the car insurance, the house insurance, all the bills? How are they going to do it without the life insurance?
And of course, as you've underscored all these segments, term insurance is so cheap now, especially for anybody under 50. If you're in decent health, it's not going to be a lot.
No, it's cheap when you're young, and then you convert it over time and build that cash.
Well, listen, don't forget to watch our next segment, The 1% Solution, Part 5 of our series on the economic impact of life insurance. And keep in mind, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or financial advisor. You've been watching Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game.